Hi, salut. Again, it's Tyler, Tye Hurricane, TTH. I'm a musician, but then I think about things. Have another. This video is going to be about family pets, essentially, and sort of overview assessment on family pets. Dogs, cats, felines, chiens, dogs, cats, cutesy words, doggy woggies, kitty witties. These are kind of the main kind of pets people have. Kitty witty, doggy woggy, sort of thing. With a name, of course, that you've issued to these pets of yours. Your family dog, your family cat. Wonderful family pet you have there. Your family dog. Your family cat. And a lot of times when no one else is around, they are that. It's a nice little compliment. You got a nice family dog there, a nice family cat. Sort of thing. Because they get to be that way with time. Here's where we think about the long-term things. So there's this awful day. I call it final day or something like this. Final day that a person has with their love, their family cat, their family dog, when no one else is around, sort of thing. They experience and go through a final day where they essentially, it's a vet visit and a put down type thing. End of their overall existence. Their lives are vaporized on final day. It's just awful thing, right? And you go through that too many times, like a human heart or whatever can only suffer so many of these. Like you just lost your family pet, doggy, woggy, kitty, witty. You went through this cycle of things multiple times. You don't want to do that to yourself. Put yourself through too many final days with pets. It's really hard on your feelings or whatever it is, because you care so much about them. The reason you care so much about them, because it's like this confinement thing. It grows in symbiosis, I guess. The symbiotic relationship with pets, with kitty witties and doggies specifically. It grows in symbioticness. Symbiotic. Right? You're like, it's very personal. You're holding them, you're petting them, you're feeding them, you're cleaning up after their crap, taking them on walks, and they're in your absolute care and confinement. You almost have like a little senior citizen in these pets, these kitty witties and doggy walkers. You're absolutely looking after everything about them, right? And you do this for years and years and years. And I think most pets, now in my assessment, looking back at it, they have this sort of like 10 to 15 year human years projection, most of them. Seems about an average. 10 to 15 years. A doggy woggy will live in human years, and a kitty witty will live in human years. Generally around 10 to 15 years in total, right? So there's uncomfortable truth about this. It's that somewhere, if you keep them past 10 calendar years, or 10 full 365 day years, somewhere past 10 of them, that's when the the symbiotic nature of this relationship that you have with these pets, it starts to break down. The pet, starts to limp or something. The pet doesn't feel as good anymore. It's not as happy. The family cat, the family dog. Maybe they grow obese or something, or maybe you have to give them forcible medications, or but veterinarian says something. The practitioner of pets, and they say you have to change the diet of the kitty witty, the dog you're walking now. It's because of symbiotic nature of confinement being what it is, and being ultra personal. Cleaning up the poop, the pee, feeding them, bathing them, all of this stuff. Holding them, or woof, and then you're outside with them or whatever, taking them on walks. Making sure they get exercise, all this stuff. Somewhere after year 10, their bodies and maybe certain things on you start to deteriorate, diminish. So the uncomfortable truth of this is, if you've done this multiple times, it's very hard on your system to put yourself through multiple final days with these family pets, the privileged information of the names is yours. You're the owner of the pets. There's privileged information there. That's privileged information. But somewhere around, to safeguard this happening again, should you have another real pet, be interested in one, going to the pet store again. I want my 4th kitty witty, doggy woggy. I want another one. Maybe you have to bear some things in mind. One is after 10 years again, this deterioration, diminishment, final day, somewhere around year 15, 14 to 16, some even sooner, or somewhere after year 10, year 9, year 10, a final day will come faster than you think. So there's preventative measures should you have another actual real pet. There's been multiple times now. The way through this is somewhere around year 7, year 8, while they're still in good shape, still fully upright and mobile and walking around, still in good shape as these pets. You kind of want to make sure that you put them in a cage or something and transport them to an outside county from one you reside in, and let them go stray or free completely out of your confinement. And while they're still upright and healthy enough to handle being stray and free, right? Somewhere around year 7, year 8, especially if they're going to be 10 to 15. And this is not as easy as it sounds or looks. And this applies, funnily enough, and hard enough to even big pets, like a German Shepherd, a 45-pound dog. Same thing, around 7 to 8 years old. Could you stomach doing that to avoid final day? Especially if you've experienced the absolute crushing heartbreak of final days before. Somewhere around the year 7, year 8. they have access to a vehicle or can go on the GO train, or GO train is specific to Ontario, I guess. And then take that loved family member to a different county, and then let them completely go stray. You let them go, and they get to live their lives away from your confinement. And that's going to be hard to do for, like, I would say maybe a day or two. You'll be weepy and, oh, this is really tough. I don't want to let you go. but you know what's going to happen. It's like preventative, away from final day in the future to come. It has to be done around year 7, year 8. Oh, they're still in good physical shape. Maybe a little easier with the kitty witties, admittedly, because they're smaller creatures. Or even a hamster, something like that. But a doggy woggy. Can you picture yourself doing that? Especially if you like bigger dogs. Oh, this is the 4th time, and you know what's going to happen on the final day. You're going to just completely be gutted. Right, so, and it's going to end awfully for all parties involved after 10 to 15 years of forcible confinement, because of the symbiotic nature of pets themselves. Humans, pets, man, woman's best friend, family's best friend, all that stuff. It's symbiotic because it's more personal than even what's as personal as anything, really. These things. So that's kind of in there. And there's a cutesy-wootsy idea that Disney wants to put on people. Homeward Bound. Remember this movie? Where I think the family tries this. We're going to put them in a different county, our family pets, and they're going to return to us. Or some sort of accident happened. Put them in a different county, and then they're going to return. That's a cutesy-wootsy fictional fairy tale idea. Your cat and your dog are in a different county. They want to be stray and free. They want to do things that you didn't know they wanted to do. For example, like go fishing in a stream. Your dog, your cat, they want to get back to their wild nature. They want to be. They look out windows all the time. Like, don't they? They have that in them. They're confining semi-wild creatures. They can't domesticate them all their life, or else full domestication, 15 years. That's why it crushes and hurts and harms all parties. But they want a little bit of freedom toward the end of their lives from this extreme, heavy amount of domestication. I guess would be the word. So somewhere around year 7, year 8. I know this is kind of long-winded, but it's a difficult subject to talk about. Anyhow, they funnily enough, they gave a bad rap a long time ago to this TY product, this thank you product. People were mass collecting these things. Let's get 100 of these Beanie Belly, Beanie Baby things. But I believe, very much so, the intent of these products was to resemble the actual family pets persons have and had, and then you buy these as a tribute to the pets you've had in your existence and life. They make so many varieties of these things. One of them's going to resemble, that looks exactly like my kitty witty doggy whitey when I was 7, when I was 10, then I had another one when I was 20, and I had another one when I was 25. What people run through a series of maybe 3 to 5. And that's like how many of these sort of stuffies or plushies you could essentially buy. These mass collectors who bought 50 of these things or fucking entire sets. They bad rap this thing. Because what's a good reason to get these? Well, for one, they're only like 10 to 15 total dollars. Oops, sorry. Right? And again, no cat litter, no cat food, no special diet stuff, just a little doll, just a little stuffy or plushie that resembles who you had before. And same with the doggy woggy. No more huge bags of dog food or whatever it is. That's done. That's over with. No more bags of dog food. No more having taking them on walks. That's why these were invented. Not to collect 50 of them, but just to, how many have you had in your actual human life? And then you get the appropriate number of stuffies, thank you dolls, TY dolls, plushies that resemble what you had in your life in existence, and then that might be the end of you wanting actual pets again. Especially if you kind of got this wandering eye that what's happening in the pet store? What's going on in there? If you get these little stuffies and plushies, you won't have this wandering, roving eye for pet stores as much. Because you'll know, okay, it's gonna save me a ton of money. Year, month and day, and year after year of dog food and cat food and litter and pooper scoopers or bags and water dishes and food bowls. And those days are cemented and over when you get these plushies and stuffies that resemble the family pets that you've had before. That's why they were invented. And food and drink for thought, I guess. Pets, human pets, domestication, and the symbiotic relationship again that happens after year 10. That can be prevented if you have another actual one and you're like, oh, final day is approaching, or it's going to approach faster than I realize. And I've had this pet now for 3 to 5 years. To avoid final day in the future to come, you could do that action of bringing them over to a different county and letting them go straight in free. And the interesting thing too is maybe you, every 3 to 6 months, you go and visit that county. And you might see traces or familiar outlines of your doggy, woggy, kitty, witty. You might even have a random chance encounter with